Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so Ophiuchus, let's go ahead and jump on into a Valentine's Day message. By the way, Ophiuchus, you guys were the last of the 13 for me to get to tonight, and I was trying to get to all of the other 7 yesterday, but I had to wait until all the other 7 today. And so you guys were in that second half. You're in the second 7 batch to do the 13 zodiacs, but I'm sorry I had to wait until today to get you 7 done. So we have got the Empress and the 9 of Swords here. Somebody's stressing hardcore right now. Who is so stressed over Ophiuchus? I mean, I think Ophiuchus is absolutely spectacular. A High Priestess, Ace of Wands in the reverse. Somebody who does not just think, but they know Ophiuchus does not want them anymore. And I'm going to say want because it's the Ace of Wands in the reverse. Ophiuchus doesn't find me sexy anymore. I mean, I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to mean it mean, but that's their impression. Ophiuchus is happy without me. So this is a Valentine's Day that's really hard for someone who is convinced Ophiuchus does not want them, does not find them attractive. Why do you believe that? Where's that coming from? We have Temperance sideways. We have Death card upright. They're sure because either they like attempted to reach out somehow with the Temperance and they can't feel Ophiuchus's energy, or they did take a peek and they noticed it's like Ophiuchus doesn't live here anymore, something was shattered, or they just simply are aware, God, I feel like this person blew it with Ophiuchus and it's them that's rattled. It's them that can't sit comfortably and easily with this ending. Hierophant. It's also they've had an awakening. They're the ones who blew it with Ophiuchus. Okay, hang on. The Sun and the Page of Swords. And it is very obvious. I do think that they've probably done some spying. I think that what they've seen is Ophiuchus is very happy right now. And I think not that they were hoping to see Ophiuchus, miserable, but I do think it hurts even more to confirm what their higher self has awakened to, which is, I'm the one who lost Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is fine without me. And then I spy and I find out, yeah, they're doing great. They're maybe more vibrant than I've ever seen them. They're so, so happy, and I am not happy. We have Lovers. God, this is somebody who is really struggling with this. Ophiuchus might be with somebody else. Ooh, Emperor. Look, if Ophiuchus isn't, this person believes that Ophiuchus is. Let's shift over and let's ask Ophiuchus, where are you at? Ophiuchus, where are you at? Ophiuchus does not want this person back. That is true, because we have Judgment in the reverse, or in this deck they call it Liberation, but same card. Mastery of Cups. That would normally be the King of Cups, but they did put a feminine on that card. We have Mastery of Wands in the reverse. We have Nurture of Cups in the reverse. Okay, so the dynamic of, does Ophiuchus have any attraction for them is a hard pass. They really do not. In fact, Ophiuchus may be acutely aware that, yeah, I know they still want me. I don't want them. I don't. And by the way, I don't. I don't have the emotions for them. I don't have the heart for them. And maybe this is because, maybe I should invert this and say Ophiuchus is saying, oh, I did care about them, but they were selfish, emotionally manipulative. They took from me. They weren't supportive. They didn't give anything in return. I could read it that way as well. Okay, so Ophiuchus, for Valentine's Day, where are you at right now? Obviously, you don't want this ex back. Strength card and 6 of Cups. I know we're really close to Valentine's Day already, but this still says Ophiuchus is hoping for somebody new, or they're already thinking about somebody new. There is a soulmate. There is somebody that they're starting to build a bond with. There is somebody on Ophiuchus's mind, and vice versa, who is not this person who is so busted up over Ophiuchus. Three of Cups in the reverse, Ten of Swords upright. The thing is, I'm wondering if on Valentine's Day, Ophiuchus is going to do something that is very symbolic for them to like tell the universe, I am ready to do more than just think about someone new that I'm kind of attracted to. Universe, I'm free of that person of my past who I know is missing me today, wants me back, but I don't want them. This is the day that I stop letting that person's energy into my realm. And it's a day that, universe, I'm telling you, please let me move on. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready to move on from that past person. Let me meet someone that I can do more than just think about. Because it feels like Ophiuchus may have a little bit of a crush on a new soulmate, but there's nothing going on with that new soulmate yet. Let me ask, universe, what are you picking up from Ophiuchus? Let's ask the universe that. Queen of Pentacles upright, Five of Swords sideways. The universe is saying, look, I get it. You don't want to have relationships where you fight with people anymore. You are sending a message with the lightning strikes. You're ready to give to somebody new. You're quite peaceful. We hear loud and clear. So in that case, universe, what do you want to say to Ophiuchus? Two of Cups in the reverse, Six of Wands upright. This is like the universe just stood up and clapped wildly. They're like, you got it, Ophiuchus. That person was your false Two of Cups. Okay. So somebody from Ophiuchus's past was not their forever person, wasn't even their great love. It was their karmic. It was somebody that was selfish. It was somebody that Ophiuchus needed to learn to say, wow, that's an example of everything I don't want. Thank you. No, thank you. I want better. And the universe is like, hallelujah. Yes, you saw that for what it was. It's amazing. Be proud of yourself. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so we do not have any takesy backsies on the ex who is bumming out really hard around Valentine's Day, but it doesn't matter. The universe is saying to Ophiuchus, if you listen, you'll hear the roar of an emperor's voice, the person you might most want to meet, the kind of person you might most want to meet. Now, I wonder if this means for Ophiuchus, if they're out and about, let's just say on Valentine's Day, whatever, Ophiuchus is still, currently kind of single or something, but let's say they choose to pick up the phone and call that person who they might be crushing on just a little bit to talk to that person. Awesome. Or if they're at work and they're going to have some interaction with that person anyway, it's like, enjoy hearing that person's voice, maybe give them a compliment. There's something about the voice or about words, about hearing this person talk. Now, it could also be, just keep in mind, we have more than one soulmate. Just even if Ophiuchus has an idea in their head of somebody they're mildly attracted to, that still might not be the person for them. It could be Ophiuchus goes, whatever, stands in line to get a cup of coffee at their local cafe, and they hear somebody behind them, talking, and it's like, wow, they have a great voice. This is turn around and tell them that. Start the dialogue. Like, wow, are you like a radio DJ? You have such a great speaking voice. Sometimes it's stuff. I mean, obviously, don't say it if it's not sincere, but if it's sincere, I'm thinking somebody's got a great voice because I'm hearing one of my favorite masculine voices is probably Otis Redding. And so I'm hearing that, there's a lot of great voices out there. There's really, I can't say that I'd have to at least have like my top 50, but Otis makes it into at least the top 5. So yeah, if I think of a really great voice, that's the first one that comes to mind, even though I'm sure that there's others that might tie with Otis's voice, but may he rest in peace. We have that Knight of Coins. It says, take the time and enjoy whatever the dialogue is with a new person, Ophiuchus. Start something slow. Maybe it's going to be the person that isn't standing in line behind Ophiuchus. Maybe it's going to be the person who is, checking Ophiuchus out at the grocery store. And it's like, oh, that person, there's such a nice, countenance to them and whatever. I love the sound of their voice. And it's like, oh, when I go back in for groceries, maybe I'll go through their line again. It just says this wonderful new beginning has begun right around Valentine's Day for Ophiuchus. It doesn't say they're in this hot-blooded, instantaneous romance. It says Ophiuchus is done with an ex and is ready for somebody else. And the awareness happens around this time frame. But the new beginning with somebody else also starts around this time frame. But it's like it starts in this very simple, like I admire this person, I think they're great, but at the same time, I let this play out. An emperor is going to do the pursuing. Page of Swords and the Five of Wands. I feel like every time, because I think it's going to be a slow burn, I feel like there's a new relationship that's going to get started around Valentine's Day for Ophiuchus. And I feel like it's going to be a slow burn where these two learn about each other one morsel at a time. And then it keeps this interesting spark where I think Ophiuchus is going to be this very alluring, not like they're trying to create a mystere around themselves, but I will say, what keeps anybody hooked is when it's like, wow, Ophiuchus always has like not a ton maybe that they offer up, but I could picture this being an Ophiuchus who has a really interesting way about them. Ophiuchus could have unexpected responses, thoughtful, differently paced dialogue. There is nothing more boring to me than, like there's so many, like, I don't really watch TV hardly ever. I didn't even own a TV for most of my life because I just never had time to watch it anyway. But I don't enjoy a lot of boring dialogue bores me out of my gourd. And so most things don't really, I don't have a whole lot of interest in unless it's really great dialogue. And when it's great, you're very into it. But nothing is more engaging than something you don't expect. I don't like the routine. I don't like, boring comedy that is predictable. I want something that takes me by surprise. And I just feel like that's the only way. Maybe I sound like a total jerk, but Ophiuchus isn't a jerk, even if I am one. Okay. But I think Ophiuchus has unique ways of communicating. I think Ophiuchus has a unique turn to their mind. I think they pause and then, say things that are just a little more thought-provoking. And I feel like it is going to drive whomever this emperor is wild. They cannot wait to get to know more about Ophiuchus. Now, it doesn't matter what genders we're talking about. Ophiuchus could show up as a masculine or a feminine. The emperor could be a feminine as well as a masculine. So just bear that in mind. But the interest on their part is what's really peaked. And I just think how awesome that I think something begins where Ophiuchus is going to be the person that is like very interesting and very sought after. And it's so crazy because you know what? That ex called it. That ex said, Ophiuchus is spectacular. They're beautiful. They're happy. They're like a ray of sunshine. And you know what? Somebody's going to be so lucky to be with that Ophiuchus. Some awesome emperor is going to get to be with Ophiuchus. And God, I wish it was me. They were right. They called it. They said Ophiuchus is going to end up with some amazing emperor who's going to be nuts about him. I would say, yep. If there was a departing gift from this ex, it is that they called almost into existence this amazing person that is going to cherish Ophiuchus and be kind of hanging on their every word and be excited to get to know Ophiuchus and watching for Ophiuchus and wondering when they get to see Ophiuchus again. And I just think it's going to be very warm and endearing because I don't think that this ex of the past treated Ophiuchus like that at all. Page of Cups is definitely writing a new chapter into Ophiuchus's book of life. This is all new. I don't know. Let me ask. X, are you going to try to reach out to Ophiuchus at all? I don't see it. I only see you. A fool is here. It is possible. They certainly think about it all day long. They may be damn near immobilized and keep thinking, could I just reach out to Ophiuchus? But in lieu of that, they may just spy. They may just spy and then come up with this idea that Ophiuchus is in such a great place. And it's probably because they're with somebody else. And it's so crazy because it's like at the time that they're thinking it, Ophiuchus could literally be meeting. I can almost smell coffee right now. Now, I'm a coffee addict, so coffee is, and I say that because I literally am addicted to coffee. Like I want it all the time, like I am nuts about coffee. So maybe, it wouldn't be a hard thing for me to imagine somebody going to a coffee house, because I want to go to a coffee house right now and it's like 9 o'clock at night. Like I am nuts about coffee. So bear that in mind. But in this thought process, I keep thinking that Ophiuchus meets this person like at a coffee house, So again, that could be my own interjection there, because I think that's great and has good connotations, but maybe it's not that. It just feels like at the same time that this ex is thinking about Ophiuchus, meeting somebody, probably with somebody, Ophiuchus might actually be meeting that emperor. It's just serendipitous. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this here as my baby sings you off into sleepy land. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Sending you guys lots of love. Bye for right now.